everybody. So we're a bit being giggly bitches tonight. So because we just warded off a raid and we're just being silly with a bunch of Demon Mama's community. Love to her, by the way, for the stuff that she went over on her stream. Love her content, yada yada. That's not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today is going to be a little less fun, but I think it's something to talk about. So I'll give you kind of the premise. One of the things that kind of happened for me recently in therapy is that I realized that there's a lot more of a personal trigger and, frankly, a lot more of emotional hurt around the idea that I didn't transition earlier. For those who have not been paying attention, because I make jokes about it all the fucking time, I am 40. And I am somebody who's actually had a birthday on this channel, and I've also been somebody who has gotten to the YouTube game really late. I also didn't transition till about 2019. I'm pretty new and babyish as far as a trans person. And the fact of the matter is that I'm still figuring out stuff. I'm still transitioning. I'm still in that process. I legit thought you were 28. I wish. No one would have liked me at 28. I was a complete douchebag. Like, I don't even like old me. Ask people who knew me. Anyway, the point being is that I have a lot of regrets about not transitioning sooner. And the only reason that I knew what to do was because of ContraPoints' videos, random videos I found on the internet, and because I'm a counselor, right? I have access to resources that other people don't. Because I know terminology and jargon, I can talk my way through most things. And so walking into an office, being very clear about what experiences and feelings I'm having and knowing what terminology is going to be treated seriously, yeah, I was on HRT within like a month of starting gender therapy. I don't regret any of that. I do sometimes feel guilty for the privilege I have. I'm a middle-class trans woman who's white. I don't have to deal with certain other things, and my transition didn't have a whole lot of gatekeeping.
Well, and there's a really the health system that's around that's attached to the university around here has also got a lot going on for LGBTQ stuff, and so we get massive amounts of access to things that wouldn't necessarily be, as available otherwise.
Gay Fash, hearing that you're 36 makes me feel so much fucking better. Oh my god. I realized that in therapy, I have a lot of hurt around this, a lot of upset, for two separate reasons. And I wanted to see if this was true for other trans people. So I wanted to share it and see if this is something that would provoke some introspection and some just general sort of communication and discussion around this.
Questions and comments can go in
old enough to remember
chat,
the anime from my childhood, Sin.
Yeah. And you guys can put questions and comments in chat. We don't have a separate question one for this. So.
Yeah, Gina, you're a baby. We're sorry.
Oh.
So.
No one knows my age. It's fine.
Moving on. If you want to share it, share it. I'm not going to share people's ages without their consent. We can have your birthday on stream if everybody wants, if you're okay with that.
I would like that. I also got a plan for a movie. But no. We are very distractible. You were saying about...
So here's the thing. I wanted to bring this up for the purposes of... Yeah, it's totally cool if they don't want to. That's fine. But here's the thing. I have a lot of hurt around the idea that I missed time. That's one side of it, that there was time genuinely taken. As I've explained in the video about my history, I was a kid who used to flirt with the idea of being trans and used to interact with a queer newsletter and hung around with a lot of trans people and genuinely was trying to be somebody to engage with and trying to figure out what to do. And then I met a woman and we started dating, and then I found out she was pregnant, not by me. And I decided to settle on heterosexuality and adulthood because I couldn't figure out how to proceed forward, so I just buried all that shit. Fast forward 20 years, I'm now being myself. I'm now more comfortable in my skin than I've ever been. And my hair looks fantastic. But I feel like I've missed so much. There's a thing in the trans community, for those who aren't aware, where you talk about a second adolescence. There's a way in which you kind of go through another puberty, but it goes beyond that. You're also going through a new childhood in some ways. You're having to figure out who you are, how you are. And it's difficult because I have to do this in the context of being an adult woman. I didn't get a chance to, as Abigail mentions in chat, I didn't get a chance to go through the stereotypical teenage girl experiences, like having sleepovers or having sleepovers with girls that you liked and figuring out like what the codes were of whether this was like one of those sleepovers or one of those sleepovers. Trust me, I've worked with enough lesbian teens. That's a thing. I didn't get to do any of the fun stuff like hang out with a bunch of girls and fucking put on nail polish. I didn't get to do any of that kind of stuff. And so it pains me. I didn't get to be a woman in her 20s experimenting and gay Fash, I don't want to say good genetics because that sounds fucking awful, but like I hated my hair for the longest time. I shaved the whole thing off because I was doing the whole monk thing. Now I fucking love it. It's all curly and shit. So, anywho, enough about my hair. Point being is that I think it's worthy of a discussion here today about the idea of that time lost and how painful that is. I think that's something we don't necessarily talk about enough. It's not to say that it doesn't get mentioned, but I feel like it's always secondary. In every article I've seen, in every discussion I've seen, it always feels like something that is just cursory. And so I guess I bring this up in the context of how does that affect all of you? Because for me, it's really painful. I'm angry. I'm angry at parents who are too ignorant. I'm angry at society for putting forth awful caricatures of trans women that made it impossible for me to actually and completely ever think that was an option. I hate being born in a time where trans women were a joke or monsters. I hate the fact that I had to hide my trans feelings behind cross-dressing and Halloween. I feel like I ran out of time. In fact, one of the reasons why transitioning became so important to me is because I felt like I needed to do this now because the idea of aging and dying in a man's body made me want to vomit. Nothing against dudes, mind you, just not for me. I really struggled with that. And the thing that's really fascinating to me with this is that this seems to be true for a lot of trans people. Not just people at my age, but a lot of people at like... I've met 15-year-olds who wish they would have transitioned sooner. I've met like 20-year-olds who are like, man, if I could have just started this in high school. That boggles my mind because I can see how through ageism and also through just cultural messaging, it's hard because on the other side of this, there's a lot of shit there for me. My mom died around this time. So in a lot of weird way, between family shit and also just my mom, there's a weird sense that like I don't have a lot of time left. Now, my health is fine. I'm good other than migraines. And I take care of myself for the most part. But there's still that fear. Right? And so there's a possibility that I could have another 40 years. There's a possibility that I could have 2. Who knows? And I know that's true for any of us. And I know that's something that is part of the existential gig. But for me, it is really scary. This is one of the reasons why, like, the stuff that these assholes post on here doesn't really bother me. The people that raid and do all this other crazy shit, because to some degree, Again, the stuff in my head's way worse. They just say the same shit over and over again. Ask Thanagor. He's the one that checks the comments. I want to bring this up because, for me, it feels like a trap on both sides. I regret the time that was lost and feels partially stolen, and especially being brought up in a small town where there was no trans anything, right? It's not like I was brought up in downtown San Francisco where this was just a thing, right? On top of it, on the other side of it, it's that women are told that, hey, you're 40, you're used up. Expiration date. I mean, you see how incels and these assholes talk, and right, you shouldn't take them seriously, but to some degree, thank you, Gina, I appreciate that. But this is a really scary thing, because in a lot of ways, what it essentially comes down to is you, if you're a woman at 40, general society treats you as though you're not worthwhile. What is the old line from that song? Like, everybody wants you when you're 17. When you're 21, you're no fun. That's from Party Monster. God, I love that movie. Anyway. I feel like I only have so much time to be the person I am. And that bothers me to no end. And so I bring this up because I want to know, do other people struggle with this? Is this something that really comes up that is there? Like, for you as another trans person? And I can imagine there's a divide here, right? Like, the fear of being a trans woman that passes, let's say, and you pass, and the fear is as you age, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll lose that privilege. Or if you're a non-passing trans woman, imagine, like, you may feel like you're never going to get those experiences. And that doesn't take away your womanhood. That doesn't take away you being a trans woman in any way, shape, or form. But that really sucks. One of the things that I want this channel to always be is a discussion about trans identity, and thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. And I also want it to be an understanding that second fucking got me. I have to content myself with jokes of aspiring MILFhood. I don't even know if I'm a MILF. I don't even know. I never really got into that thing. I don't know.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, no, I'm good. But yeah, like, I guess my point here is a honk. Love honks from Hanging Wednesday. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. You're really great. I struggle with this. And that's not to say that cis women don't. Cis women struggle with age. They struggle with that feeling of that expiration date, that feeling like they're used up, worthless, yada, yada. Men don't seem to go through that, at least not in any way that's comparable. And so I guess I bring this up because I don't want to say that this is something exclusive to trans women, but the other side of it, the lost time, is. Sure, people can regret their time in their life, and they can regret the ways their life has gone, but in reality, like, it's not exactly the same, and that's not to reduce their pain. It's just to say that, what about ours? What about this idea? That may be true. I could be wrong on that. Generally speaking, from a cultural perspective, East Bay Street medic, I've seen a lot of men, again, at least from the cultural perspective, generally speaking, aging isn't seen like a big deal for men. Now, I could be wrong on that. That could be something that's changing. I'm willing to own that. Go through it differently. It's expressed as the midlife crisis. That's super true. I hadn't thought of midlife crisis in that way, but I think you're right, Hanging Wednesday.
Yeah, different paradigm sort of deal.
And so there really is a fear here for me that there's no time left. And that I don't have the ability to ever be that person. And I don't really know what the point of this video is. As I kind of dig into this more, I'll probably bring it up more. But I think it's a really big idea and it's hard for people to really swallow, to really understand, right? Your time is limited. Most humans don't want to think about that. Existentially, it's hard. It's terrifying. We don't know what's after. It doesn't matter if you have religious beliefs. Doesn't mean if you're atheist, which, by the way, is still a theistic argument, but whatever. You're still, regardless of whether you make a claim or you don't even try to go near that shit, the fact is we have no idea what's after. We have no idea what happens. So the fact of the matter is that we all have this limited time, and being trans adds in an entirely other intersectional dimension, which means, what does the even time before mean? For some trans people, it was they were always a girl, which I've resonated with. Lady Ruth Tripp, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But on the other side of that time loss is how much time is left. And I want to say this in a way that isn't like egocentric or like egotistical. And I know there's going to be assholes in the comments that are going to tell me that, I'll never be a woman and blah, blah, blah. But I genuinely these days like how I look. I think I'm kind of cute as fuck, if I'm really honest. And I don't mean that in an egocentric way. I don't mean that in like I'm perfect or great. There's things I want to improve. Boobs need to get bigger by margins. But I do like the way I look. I do like the way I dress. I do like the way I feel now. How long will I have that?
You are a cutie.
Aw, thank you.
That's what.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Hey, if Nightbot didn't catch the capture, fine. I just wanted to be clear that, like, I think this is something that I'm not just the only one going through. I think this is something a lot of us go through. And maybe it gets talked about one-on-one or with our therapists or whatever, but maybe we need to start talking about this more openly. The lost time. Like, can I be just honest for a minute past the sadness? I'm just fucking pissed. I was forcibly brought up in a society I didn't choose, and I could have been this the whole time. Look at old pictures of me. I would have been cute as fuck. And the fact is that time where I could have just been a girl and just lived my life and just enjoyed it. And yeah, there would have been hardships, there would have been shit and all that. And yeah, I sadly took the easy route. Right? Finished school, graduate school, all that shit while pretending to be a cis man.
I don't know if that route was easy. I'm going to be real here. Like, it's what I know of just as history. There was a lot of things that were not very safe situations, right? That
I mean, that's fair.
Out there, and that was still going on. Like, there's a reason that you didn't transition earlier, and no, it had a lot to do with emotional safety. Yup, Zena said it, yeah. That is our time. We can go on if you want to, though.
Yeah. So I guess... I feel like this stuff matters, and I feel really angry. I feel like this is something we don't talk about because it's not good optically. To talk about holding society necessarily to this level of account, but the way we construct our society, the way we deal with tradition, the way we talk about gender, the simple fact is there are a countless number of trans people throughout the whole of history that were stopped from being who they should have been because of the way that people enforce cultural mores and norms and stereotypes, the way that we use violence as a compelling factor. Again, I don't really have a direction for this. I think the one thing I take from it is just acknowledging it, sitting with it. That's what I'm doing right now, is just sitting with it. Recently, in my own personal work, one of the things I've been doing, and this will be for anyone that notices on the system, is inside the Discord, is that I've been playing with the plural kit system. I don't know exactly where that fits for me, but there's stuff there that I've been playing with. And at least right now, it's an ability to give voices to parts of me that need to speak. I need to figure this out, because being in this position, being this angry in this plural kit, it is a bot. I will explain that in another video.
Yeah, there's also some people on our server that are pretty knowledgeable.
I don't want to go into it now.
Yeah.
But I just want to say love to those folks. Yeah, like, think about this, like, yeah, I'm playing with it right now, okay, Fash, I'm trying to figure out where that sits for me. Right now I got archetypes, maybe they'll have names someday, I don't know, whatever. Here's the thing, I want a world where people can be however they want. They can be who they want. I want a world where people can be however they are. I tend to be somewhat transhumanist. I tend to think I want a world where people can be fucking nano clouds. Change a different shape every day. Transport your mind into a machine. I think that sci-fi shit is cool. I would love to have that. I could be a different hot girl every day. That'd be rad. Oh, Very Roan, I love you. Yeah, right, let's download ourselves into sexy nanobot bodies for the win.
Cory Doctorow's book. Which one? It's Home About Walking Something. God, I'll remember this title later. I'll post it in the Discord. But it absolutely follows this trail of going down, watching society go down this lane where, like, you can transport consciousness. I'm all about that.
And it comes full circle to sex bots, right?
Oh, God.
Yeah, the Altered Carbon guy's a turf. I didn't know that. That's fascinating. You'll have to put that link into for the link for stream. I wouldn't mind reading something about that. Can you find that, Lucy? But yeah, I guess I just want to say this is, like, I want a world where people can be however they want. I want radical freedom in that way. And yeah. I guess my thought on this is that, like, yeah, there's just a lot of emotions around that. So I don't really have a huge point at this juncture. As more comes up, I'll share it, but I just want everyone to be very clear of whatever feelings they have around this topic. You could be neutral, you could be incredibly angry. Whatever you are experiencing from this topic is valid. And I just want you to look at it and try to understand it. Not with judgment, not with harshness, just with curiosity. I think this stuff really matters.
I think so.
Yeah, radical freedom from bodies, from even singular selves. I'm a big fan of the game Eclipse Phase. We never got to play it much because the system's awful, but I always love the idea of creating alpha forks of yourself, just fucking copies, and be like, stick them in other bodies, do the thing. Or, fucking make a delta fork. This one right here is only good at specifically doing this task, and he's going to take care of that while I'm over here doing that.
Night, Hanging Wednesday.
Bye, Hanging Wednesday. Love you.
Yes, and
it's a transhumanist. Yeah, transhumanist game. Yeah. Have I played it? Yes, I've played it. I like Eclipse Phase. Anyway, I'm gonna end this one here. What? Do you have something on this? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, my upbringing was really weird. Like, there's definitely a lot of times where I got cut off from, like, a lot of the stuff that I would have liked to have done. Like, Boy Scouts as an organization, like, I definitely grew up in a scouting family. I have issues with the organization, don't get me wrong, but as far as, like, doing the activities, like getting to go on the high adventure, there we go. Probably need this a little bit closer. A lot of my experience growing up cut me off from doing a lot of the masculine stuff or the boy things, right? Like, I would get clothes for Christmas while my brothers got actual toys or things that they actually wanted, and my parents wouldn't buy me the things that I would actually ask for. Or, like, there was a lot of times with like my siblings both went on massive camping trips, like 2 weeks long, hiking to various places across the country, and I never got to do that. That same care and like dedication was never given to me, like ever. Like I had to go figure out my own way to explore and go places. And I miss that stuff. And it's really sucks because as an adult, my health really suffers. I would love to be doing more high adventure camping stuff. And now we have COVID, but
not according to the fucking CDC.
Yeah, well, I think the one solace I kind of take lately is that a lot of the Femme, probably one of the neat parts about my relationship is that at least the Femme side decides it's not as big. I like making things. I like making cute things. I don't like wearing them myself, but I like that Jess likes wearing them. Right? This is a bow tie that I made like as a teen, or maybe in my early 20s, somewhere in there. There we go. But you can wear it as a headband or as a bow tie, whatever you want. But it's nice to see Jess enjoy, a lot of the Femme stuff that I didn't really use when I was younger. So it's kind of nice at least to see that part. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on this. There's definitely a lot of anger for like society and how we socialize kids definitely like fucked me up. And I am not cool with, continuing that sort of rigid, harsh, binary way of socializing children. So
yeah, and it's I guess I just put this out there as just a understanding of where we come from and just some of the things I'm dealing with as I go through my own personal process. I want to share it with you guys. And I might get made fun of. It might be people start throwing that shit at me, but I still feel like being authentic is important. So with that said, I love you.
I love you too.
With that said, I'm going to end this VOD here. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching the stream, we're not ending the stream. We're just ending the video, okay? So if you like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell. If you would like to donate, you can donate at streamlabs.com/transgirltherapist/tip, or you can donate at patreon.com/transgirltherapist, and you can become a patron for as low as $3. And with that said, we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. You can also ring the bell if you want to be notified of our videos. If you want to help the channel, you can donate at streamlabs.com/transgirltherapist/tip. You also can become a patron at patreon.com/transgirltherapist. For as low as $3, you can support our channel. Thanks for watching.